Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me for the coffee break. I have my good friend here, Nick Rockwell, and he is with Integrity Flooring, and he's also an area director for Master Networks. Thanks so much for being here, Nick.
Thanks, Jade. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, so you have a plethora of background and information, and one of the things that's trending right now is talking about your story. So they keep saying like businesses that talk about their story and their background and what makes them them is really a thing right now. So I'd like to talk to you a little bit about what makes you, you.
Absolutely.
So from some of my notes here, it says that you kind of started your career out as a deputy sheriff, and then you joined the Marine Corps for how many tours?
I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years active duty, 4 years inactive, and I did 3 tours between 2004 and 2008.
Thank you so much for everything you've done for us. It means a lot.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate it.
And then you went from this, and I remember a little bit about your story from the Master Networks that I attended when you presented of how you got into like the flooring business, and how did that kind of start where you deviated from that?
So about 8 years ago, I moved from Phoenix, Arizona, where my wife was doing an internship. She got a job out here in Denver. And my best friend I served with in the military, his mom was an agent at a different company that I worked for. And after about 6 years, I actually got let go of that job for refusing to sell a bad product. And I actually got involved with another gentleman that was not doing the things that I thought were appropriate for a business. So I decided to open up my own. And I opened up my own business over a year ago. I've been in this industry for just over 8 years. I was one of the top 10 agents in the country for one of the third largest flooring distributors in the nation outside of Lowe's and Home Depot.
Wow.
And after a Gary Barnes boot camp, who you're very familiar with,
I am.
I decided to just open up my own business to try to correct some of those problems. And I decided to call it Integrity because I just was tired of the subpar customer service that people were getting from some of these other places. And I just wanted to take ownership of it. So I call it Integrity for a couple of different reasons. Number one, I'll always tell you the truth. Number two, I'll never sell you a bad product. And number three, even if it's not for me, I'll tell you what products to look at so you don't throw your money away.
Aww.
So there's many people out there that'll tell you that same thing, but I pride myself on doing what I say I'm going to do and doing it with some customer service and class. So.
Yeah. And actually, I have the definition pulled up here from Google on integrity. And it says the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles and moral uprightness. That's the first definition. And where do you think you got that from? Because I mean, like you said, a lot of businesses say, oh, we're you never want to go to the used car place that says, Integrity Used Cars, because that may not be, I'm sorry if that's your business, by the way. But I mean, they say, avoid that kind of thing, but you wear it as a badge of honor. Where do you think that came from, that you can throw that much behind your business name?
I think it just happens to deal with how I've always done business. I treat people the way I want to be treated. Do I want somebody coming into my house trying to sell me something, or would I want somebody trying to educate me on what I'm looking at and to say, hey, here's your options. Do what's right for you and your family. That's ultimately what I try to do. And I just think that I've had so many bad experiences with different salespeople just trying to push their product, and you say, hey, I'm not ready right now. And they go, well, we have a special. No, that's not the way I want to do my business. Call me when they want something. And my job is not to tell you the most expensive products, to educate you so you can make a better informed decision for you and your family and give you options. That's it.
I wonder if that's a Marine thing, because, my parents were 20-year veterans, and they were not the kind of people that wanted to be sold to. They knew what they wanted. They go into the store with the intent. They wanted the information and they wanted to make the purchase. And I'm the same way. I hate being sold to, but I don't mind being educated. And that's a really cool direction to go from. And part of your story that I find really interesting, and I think a lot of us go into our own business for one of two reasons. And one reason could be that you see a niche, you see something you want to offer, or you see how someone's doing something, you can do it better. Or you have our situation. Sounds like you and I come from kind of the same situation, where we saw other people conducting business in a way that we didn't agree with. And so we started our own company to do it the way that matches our values.
Correct.
So that would be obviously go into a lot of detail as to why you left that particular thing, but what do you think your moral compass is for making sure that you do the opposite of what they did?
Number one, it's to always provide the highest value to my customers that I possibly can. Whether if, like I said, even if it's not from me that you pick product from, I'll tell you what products to look at, so you don't throw your money away and why. I do real world demonstrations in front of people. I love doing demonstrations with, say, vinyl plank, for example. I'll pull my ring off and try to scratch it in front of you, or dump the laundry room on it. And people are like, oh my God, aren't you going to clean up? No, I'm going to go measure your house. I'll come back 30 minutes later and we'll just wipe it off with a paper towel. But people come up to me all the time, like, will acetone do anything? I'm like, I don't know. Let's find out.
Oh my God.
I've all sorts of things dumped on my products before just to see if it'll hurt it. And it, honestly, I mean, there's certain things I don't know about, hey, hydrochloric acid and vinyl, let's find out. So
people just have these things in their homes.
I guess, I've seen all sorts of things. I have been in 7 different homes where somebody has been changing the carburetor for their motorcycle on their brand new carpet. So nothing surprises me anymore. So, I just kind of roll with it. And, people have questions. I try to give them an honest answer. If I don't know, I'll just tell you, hey, I don't know. I'll find out. It's a great question. I'd like to know the answer now too. So,
I think that's a good way to do about it, because then you're continuing to educate yourself, right?
Absolutely. And products are always changing, and customers, customers are typically, a little bit different in every aspect of every household that I go into. Some of them want durability, some want ease of maintenance. It just depends. And so I just try to roll with it and try to be as, a much of a solution to a problem or a pain point of theirs that I can. And I'm very, very well connected too. So that also comes in handy when, hey, if you need a good plumber, or you need a good electrician, you need a good landscaper, whatever it might be, I can make a recommendation to that and know that they're going to take care of my customer as well. So I try to bring value where I can.
So your integrity is not just with your own business, but who you're associating with. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
So how do you tell?
Trial and error. A lot of trial and error. There are a lot of people that I do business with that I have been doing their business for 30 years and have the same moral values that I do. They're just out there to help people. They're not out there just to make a dollar. If it's all about the money, that's not the person I want to deal with. Yeah. They have to be good at their job. My installers have been doing this for 30 plus years. That they're business owners. They care about what they do. So they do it right the first time so they don't have to come back and there's not angry customers. My job's the easy part. I just sell product. Installers have got to be able to make it look great, but I'm one of those people, Jade, where if I tell you I'm going to meet you at 10 o'clock and I'm not knocking on your door at 9:55, you're getting a phone call.
Yeah.
Or like, well, how late are you going to be? I don't know, 2-3 minutes late. Well, why'd you call me? Because your time is important to me. And that might be military in me, being 15 prior for something. So, but I expect my installers to be the same. Show up, do your job to the best of your ability. If there's problems, call me and we'll discuss it and we'll fix the problem. That's it. Problems always occur when in construction, but how we fix those problems and how we deal with issues kind of sets everybody apart. So
that's a good way to look at it. And I mean, I don't want to make this sound like, other businesses, when they don't hold our same values, that they do it wrong. I think that a lot of cases, people, even if they're not a good fit with that customer, they still try to make that shoe fit, like Cinderella. And they're the, ugly stepsisters, right? Because we don't want to turn away business. But how would you recommend to somebody that A, needs the money, and B, is trying to be the one size fits all that isn't, on how to coach them through, it's okay that person's not a fit. It's okay to move on.
You need to be able to tell somebody, hey, I'm just not right for you. And it's a hard pill to swallow sometimes, especially right now with COVID happening. Some businesses are taking off, other businesses are really slow. And it's okay to say to someone, hey, look, you want the cheapest product possible. I'm just not right for you. Here, use my measurements. You can use my installers. I can't in good conscience sell you a bad product. I can't do this. And I have no problem doing that. And there's other people, when I say, hey, look, even if it's not for me, I might not be the cheapest guy in town anymore. And if you're that concerned about money, hey, make sure you look at least this product. And so I do lose about 15% of my business because of it. And I'm okay. I can sleep well at night. And I'm okay.
And that's a good thing to do, is to be able to look at yourself before bed and as soon as you get out of bed, and be okay with what you're seeing and the person that you are. I know that in my personal experience, because I'm probably, around where you are, 15% of lost business, quote unquote, lost business or revenue, because I turn down jobs because they're not the right fit for me or for them. But I've actually had instances where I've been a resource where people say, hey, do you do wedding videos? And I'm like, no, not at all. I said, but I know this person that does. I gave them a couple of referrals, and then that person will recommend me to someone else. And that, I think, is the power of doing the right thing and networking, because they saw me as a nice person that was just trying to get them the right thing. And I think that is a lot of what the other half of what you do is with the master networks, is connecting people with the right people for the right job, right?
Absolutely. And it goes back to doing business with people you know, like, and trust. Mm-hmm. And I have several different rules in my business that I won't get into, but you have a 3-strike policy. People make mistakes, but if they continue to make mistakes, I can't use that. I can't have people defaming the integrity of my company and what I'm about. And I will surround myself with good people, regardless of my personal feelings for them. They may be a great person, but if they're not good at what they say they're going to do, can't use them.
Right.
So, but having those other people where I can say, hey, Jade, you talk to Mark and you tell him, me, and Mark will help you. That's the kind of relationships I build with people. And it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time.
No. Yeah, it does.
So
how do you feel about the law of attraction? A lot of people are kind of buzzwording around that right now of, like attracts like. When you have these morals and values, how do you avoid the people that are what we like to call bottom feeders, that are only in it for themselves, to attach themselves to the strong host, right? And then, take all the value they can and move on?
Well, there's a couple different ways I view this. I've actually had to change my mindset on this, especially since I've done a lot of networking. I've been part of 37 different networking things in the last way too much. But what I found, though, is that those people still know people that I may want to know. So I never miss them completely. Yes, they might be a leech. They might be a bottom feeder. They're just trying to make whatever they can to get for themselves. But who do they know that I want to know? And maybe their brother-in-law is my best customer. Maybe it's a property manager that needs a new flooring guy that is unhappy. Maybe he's a commercial real estate agent who's looking to do several million square feet for a brand new office building. I never dismiss anyone. So I try to do my best to mitigate the kind of leeching that you're talking about. But at the same time, I try to, convince them otherwise, to take a look at how they can maybe improve their business by creating ambassadors. If I have a room of 30 people and they all know who I am, I've got 30 people looking for work for me. Mm-hmm. I don't just have to go out there and look for it for myself. People come across, hey, I need a new kitchen floor. Oh, hey, I got a guy. So, I try to turn it on its head a little bit, but it, like definitely attracts like, and people are drawn to people with energy. And I love connecting other people to other people. And I do kind of exude that energy, where if you have a very specific ask, I will probably find someone for you. The weirder, the better. So
that is such a great way to look at it. I actually haven't heard that explanation before, of to not write anyone off when they are clearly not the kind of person I want to associate with based off of who they might know. That's a really good, positive way to look at it. And that's really refreshing. So thank you for sharing that with me.
You're very welcome.
If people let's put it this way. If people out there are kind of matching your values that you've discussed here and want to either get to know you better or join you for one of your various networking things, I know that they're on Zoom and in person yes. At this point. So how would they go about connecting with you?
The best way how to get a hold of me is to call me. A little old fashioned. I like talking to people, as you can already tell, but my phone number is 720-717-1452, or you can reach me by email. It's Rockwell Sales with an S 715 @gmail.com. But the best way how to is to call me. So,
I will put that information into the description of the video as well as on the podcast. So again, thank you so much, Nick. Is there anything that you would like to share with people, especially as a veteran-owned business during this economic shift that we're going through right now that you think they could use?
That there is one thing. Well, two things. Number one, I just want to compliment how awesome you are. I've known you so long, and you are just so great. And I love speaking to you. I love the work and I absolutely promote your business and you in every way, shape, or form. That's number one.
Thank you.
Number two, that in this time where businesses are hurting, there are three things that we can do. Number one, we can, as a business owner, can crawl up into a ball, die, and let our business die. Number two, we can take a long pause. We've already done that. We're in the situation now that we have because we paused. Good, bad, and different, regardless of your politics. This is business. Number three, we can try to gain some momentum, put our head down, and run through the wall. And that's, what I choose to do. And if I can help other businesses by making connections to them or by bringing value to them, that is my goal, is to try to be the best value to those other businesses. And I love connecting businesses with other businesses. And if I can make you some power partners and keep your business afloat until we can get through all this, that's kind of my goal and all that I'm doing. So please let me know how I can be of value to you or your business. So
people and barely helping out other businesses and other people just by continuing your service. So again, thank you so much for your dedication to our country. Support local business, especially veteran-owned business, if you have that opportunity. And we will connect with you next week. Again, thank you so much, Nick.
Thanks, Chad. I appreciate it. You have a good day.